Welcome to Kaiju Show, where we have a healthy obsession with kaiju, and we are the longest running kaiju podcast ever. We are the greatest kaiju podcast you will ever listen to because, hey, we have a lot of fun here. I am your co-host, Kent, and with me is your other co-host,
Jason. How's it going, everyone?
It's been a long time. We kept postponing shows because I had a bunch of things going on my end. We took a family trip to a nice water park. It's kind of been our new springtime tradition. And after spending a day and a half swimming, I was exhausted. So I asked Jason for like the second time in like 2 or 3 weeks.
It was mainly him that was postponing it.
No, I admitted that. But I'm like, I'm tired. I don't want to do this. And then
I feel like shit.
And then the week before that, there was something going on where I'm like, you want to move it? And then Jason's like, yeah, I need to get up the new episode anyways. And then he just admitted, I've had all this time and I still have been lazy not getting the last episode up.
I know I was actually thinking about it yesterday, but then sort of like you, I had to drive over to Ames and get my car maintenance and everything and then drive back. So that was like 2 hours worth of driving, and then had dinner with the parents because I had a birthday the other day. So I was like, I'm just kind of tired.
And the thing is too, here's the thing, folks, we are recording this March 16th. Okay. Tomorrow's St. Patrick's Day when we're recording this. You'll probably be getting ready for Halloween by the time this thing comes out. So
yeah.
This is all going to be old news.
Sort of, yeah.
So before we're going to continue our Kamen Rider stuff here, which means because of the postponements, we're probably looking to not get Kamen Rider done until June. And that's assuming we don't push any more podcasts down the road in the future. We will be doing 3 more episodes today. I also want to talk about a couple of things. One is related to the very recent release of Criterion's Godzilla vs. Bylane Blu-ray, and then a couple other things I want to show you as well. So before we get that, Jason, the usual.
Yeah, if you see the subscribe button down below or above, wherever you're watching us from, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and as well smash the like button. And if you are listening to us in an audio version, if you're listening to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, wherever your favorite audio listening device or software is, make sure to give us a 5-star rating as well as any comments or anything else. So, and then you can also listen or watch us over at our own website at Daikaiju. At GoGoKaijuShow.com. See, my mind is just sort of somewhere else too.
Yeah. All right. So one of the things I want to show with you guys is I've been sort of on a Godzilla tear for the last week and a half. I don't know.
Aren't you always?
No, not really. Like, because we got the podcast and we're usually podcasting every other week. Usually what ends up happening with me is I get fatigued from tokusatsu / kaiju after a while, which is why, like, usually a couple times each year we take a break for about a month. But all of a sudden, for a while, there had been a couple of movies I had been wanting to watch that I hadn't watched in a while. One was The Return of Godzilla. The other was the 98 TriStar film. And so a week and a half ago, I watched those in the same day. And then just like all of a sudden, boom, like I just kind of got this Godzilla mood going in me. So I've watched 10 Godzilla movies over the last week and a half. That's basically one every day, but most of them it's been multiples over a single day. One of them I've watched 3 times over the last week and a half. Take a guess. I know Jason knows it, but I want everyone out there to take a guess as to what that could be. So I will give you a few seconds here. If you said Shin Godzilla, you are dead wrong. It is the 98 Godzilla movie. I watched that 3 times over the last 10 days. Love it. All the haters, whatever. But then as a result, I've stayed away from these things for a while because I thought they were overpriced, and I still think they are. But then I caved in and I started buying them.
It's kind of the same thing with the Arrow videos where some of those
right. Yeah. So I ended up buying several of these Super 7 Godzilla figures.
Yeah.
So right here.
Speaking of which, I did manage when I was at Target at Ames yesterday, I did manage to see at least one kaiju related figure, and it was the 93 Mechagodzilla made by Super 7.
Oh yeah. Like my Target has the Super 7s of 64 and the 75 charged up Godzilla. And I got several more. I also, other than the 75 Godzilla and Titanosaurus, I also got Hedorah, 75 Mechagodzilla, Gigan. One is the other one. Oh, and King Caesar.
Yeah, he has a closet full of stacked toys.
I do. I keep a shelf in a closet.
It's like a shrine.
But I will say, I mean, I stayed away from these things because, like I said, I thought they were pretty pricey, and they still are. In fact, the Hedorah one cost me like an extra couple bucks. These typically are running for 20, and these are like about 4-ish inches tall.
Yeah, it's a bit pricey for just a 4-inch.
Yeah. And I will admit, look, I would say are hefty and the details real nice on them.
I would say for something like that, especially for a 4-incher, I probably would have asked for $15 for it.
Yeah, well, even that's a little pricey. I almost wonder if some of that's license, like you're kind of paying for.
Could be, yeah, because a lot of it is just naming or brand recognition and license, what have you.
And like this Titanosaurus, for example, the Godzilla.com store got a new shipment in of the Bandai Movie Monster series version of Titanosaurus. I had plenty of opportunities last October when they had an initial shipment in to get the original one for $38. And I used to have the original Bandai version of Titanosaurus.
You had a few original
Bandai I did, yeah. And I thought about it. I'm like, it'll probably be there because it wasn't selling all that quick at the time. And they sold out of the new restock. I got the email saying they had a restock. And then I went to the store. They already had sold out. And so then I went to eBay and I'm like, do I even bother to look? And I said, yeah, sure. Why not torture yourself and go ahead and look? So I went and looked. People are selling the brand new Bandai Movie Monster Series Titanosaurus for $150 or more. There's no way I'm paying.
I had a feeling it was going to be a 3-figure.
And so I thought to myself, something like this, sure, for its size, I still think it's pricey, but at least I get a Titanosaurus. I still think the Super 7s are pricey for their size, and you don't get any accessories, but the detail is real nice. The paint jobs on them are pretty nice too. So there are those two things. So the Godzilla movies and the Super 7. I also had pre-ordered this Criterion's latest acquisition, Godzilla vs. Bylane, on Blu-ray. And so what I ended up doing is I actually watched it yesterday. I watched it with the commentary track that is included with this. And to try to put it all in a nutshell, the transfer of this is incredibly gorgeous. I think it's the best transfer released in America so far for this film. There are several problems I have with it, though. One major problem is that there is no English dub to it. For some people, that's not a big deal. For me, it is, because for me, exclusive movies that are exclusively subtitled strain my eyes after 45 minutes to an hour, because I'm always trying to not only keep up with what's shown on the screen in terms of subtitles, but also the action itself. And just that continuous eye movement strains my eyes. What makes it even worse, and I've talked about this in the past, like with Mill Creek, companies are using, for whatever strange, stupid reason, more and more white subtitles, and they're not adding like a thick black outline to the white subtitles, which in some cases,
and a drop shadow too, like a hard
or even that. And there's a problem with that with some of these shows and movies where there's a lot of light or just brightness, and I'm straining harder to try to read what's on there because the subtitles will blend into some of the environment within the movie or the show, and that makes it even worse on me. So I've complained about how Mill Creek has been really bad about that with a lot of their Ultraman stuff with that. I still maintain that if you're going to use white subtitles, you add like a thick outline to it. Or I still think Classic Media did it better when they released their Godzilla movies back in like the mid 2000s, where they were using yellow subtitles. Like I don't have as much of a problem watching Gojira that was released by Classic Media back in 2004 compared to something like the Mill Creek stuff. So the subtitles here are white, but because roughly half the movies at night, I didn't have too much of a problem watching the subtitles, but having the dub, which I recently found out was a Toho International dub, they could have put it on this release, but for whatever reason they didn't, which is annoying.
I'm guessing that they didn't have a specific license. I'm guessing there could have been a separate license to the dub.
I thought
track
that
or
too.
Something like that.
I thought that too, but August Ragoni was telling me it was Toho's. So Toho could have included it with this, but he was saying it's like he's saying it's Toho. Like they could have, they just didn't choose to, because that's what I initially thought too, was it was a separate license. But because of the one that they used, like on this one that was released about 12 years ago, which is the one we grew up on with the VHS, that was theirs. Yeah, it wasn't a separate one like Titra did with like something like a Mothra versus Godzilla. So that's disappointing that is not included with this. There is some cool stuff on here. Like there's a making of documentary, but I noticed too on the Miramax release from about 12 years ago, there's also a making of Godzilla versus Biollani feature on here. It's been a while since I've watched this version. I do remember there being some special features where they showed some of the stop motion tests. So maybe the making a featurette that's on this one could be the exact same thing as what's on here. I can't say, verify that. One of the interesting things is that this comes with a little, like a poster here. Sorry for those listening to the audio version. It's done by the same artist who did the cover here. So it comes with this.
That's pretty cool.
But then on the flip side, there's like a little essay. It's called The Real Monsters by, and I'm probably going to butcher the last name, Jim Cirinella. So it's about the movie. I have not read it, so I'm not entirely sure exactly, like, how interesting it is or not. I'm sure it probably is. Oh crap! I didn't put the disc back in. I got to take this thing back in. And there's some other things on here. Like there's a short documentary from 1993 about the Biollani and Super X, 2 vehicle concepts, some deleted special effects, which I think was the stop motion stuff, perhaps, TV spots and trailers, a new English subtitle translation. Okay, so the other thing is this audio commentary. And I'm not going to give out the person's name just because I got criticisms here. So I will say this about the commentary track. One very obvious and glaring mistake that was made was that kind of early on, the commentator had mentioned that a princess from a foreign country in Invasion of Astro Monster had Psyche had been taken over by an alien life form. And from there, she had the ability to tell the future and all that. Those of you listening to what I just said understand that that did not happen in the movie Invasion of Astro Monster. It happened in Ghidra, the movie right before. To me, it may seem like a nitpick to a lot of people, But I think if you're doing a commentary track, you have plenty of opportunities to listen and to edit any mistakes. That to me is an awful mistake to make and should have been corrected and wasn't. And I'm just kind of annoyed with that one because I always try to think from a newbie perspective. If I was someone who was a Godzilla newbie and this was my first time watching this film and listening to the commentary track as a result as well, and had not seen Invasion of Astro Monster Ghidra prior, I would be talking to my friends. Oh yeah, like in Invasion of Astro Monster, this princess gets messed up and can tell the future. And then someone who probably knows better than I would, no, that was Ghidra. No, the person on the then you get this nerd fight. So I was annoyed with that, but also with the commentary track. I realized even if you're a newbie, there's not a whole lot you're going to learn from the commentary track. The only other thing you may take away is some bits and pieces of information from some other movies that the commentator mentions along the way, because the commentator will either make some comparisons or contrast with this movie versus other Godzilla movies before and after Baialane. The person also kind of talks a little bit about the Heisei era versus the Showa era as far as like the storytelling and the timeline and stuff like that. So I think some newbies may walk away with a little bit of information, but by and large, it's a commentary track that you're not going to walk away learning a whole lot of, especially if you're someone who's been around long enough. You definitely are not going to learn anything from it, which is disappointing. It's not even all that entertaining. We try to we kind of walked away from making commentaries informative and have tried making them more entertaining over the last odd number of years, which is probably to our detriment, but believe me, we're very much aware of what we do and do not do here. So,
well, it's like I know we try to do it informative, but then it's like we usually talk most about it within the first few minutes, and then we don't really talk.
We do the whole information dump within the first 5 minutes. We're like, oh crap, what else do we talk about? Yeah. So with all that being said, is this recent Criterion release worth it? Obviously, if you are a diehard, you probably already do own it. But even then, unless you are a real stickler for getting like as much behind the scenes video and stuff as you can, is it still worth it? I would argue no. Even though the transfer on this is incredibly gorgeous, like this is the best looking version of Godzilla vs. Baialane we have ever gotten here in the States as an official release. The picture for the Miramax version of this is still pretty good. It's still better than the VHS that we grew up with in the mid 90s. And even then that VHS was not terrible either. So this improved even on the VHS. This improves on this. But even then, you still get a good picture with this. Yeah. And plus, you get making of Godzilla vs. Baialane, and then you get another feature at a behind the design, plus the English dub. And the English dub for this version, as I was reading some of the subtitles off of this yesterday while I was watching the film with the commentary track, I realized the English dub for this movie, in terms of accuracy, is actually pretty good. There's only small differences here and there, like maybe a word is not included or a word is added, but the context is still the same. It's not like other Godzilla dubs where certain sentences or whole moments are completely altered just to try to like match lip movement or something like that, which is one of the things that they used to do back in the days with a lot of Showa era films. The dub is actually pretty close, is like nearly 100% accurate. It's like 99.9% accurate with what is actually being said by the Japanese actors. So I would tell people this cost me with shipping, and then I got this one exclusively from the Criterion store. Amazon you'll probably save a few bucks, but I still ended up paying just under $40 for this. let me double check here because I got a tab open here. This one, because it's been around already for over a decade, you might be able to get this anywhere between like
pretty darn cheap.
$10 and $12, I think.
Yeah.
Let me check here as I pull it up. Oh crap! Some people are trying to sell it for $152, but
shocker.
Miramax, Amazon is selling the Miramax DVD version of this for $23.
That seems a little expensive, especially for DVD.
A bit, yeah. Like I remember I saw it on here at one point. It was like $15 or something like that.
Is there a Blu-ray tab somewhere?
I see a multi-format, but it's $203.
Jeez.
Yeah. So the only Blu-rays I'm seeing are from third-party sellers. But even then, like the DVD version of this is still really good, and I think you're getting a little more bang for your buck. Yeah, this provides a nice little essay. It's got a commentary, but like I said, the commentary, it's not one I'm going to really, I'll probably listen to it again, but if I do, it's going to be 80 years down the road. So, you know,
you'd be 120 by then.
Yeah. So, you know, I think get the Miramax version instead if you want a physical copy of it. I just think you're getting more quality in terms of like, not only are you going to get the Japanese version with English subtitles, you also get the English dub as well, which, like I said, is pretty darn accurate anyways to what the actual actors are saying.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Oh, is that it, your show and tell?
That's it in my show and tell. Yep.
I was just kind of thinking it's like I should probably show off my thing, but I'll probably wait till next episode. Something you can kind of see in the background, right over there, kind of in the corner.
The Space Godzilla.
That's the Space Godzilla one. It's a Crunchyroll exclusive figure version of it. So it's still in its box. I did open it one time, but then I put it back. So
it's like, oh crap, its value went down.
Well, I've been needing to get it out one of these times, but I just been just left it there for the time being. But
figures, you got to figure.
Yeah. So next time I'll try to remember to do it. But anywho, let's get to the meat and potatoes of what we're here for.
Kamen Rider. We're doing episodes 81 through 83. I will just give the titles of these episodes while I got the menu up here. So the first one we're covering is Kamen Rider Dies Twice. Dear Lord, like, okay. Anyways, the next one after that is Monster Jellyfish Wolf. Oh, I really want to see that one now. Dreadful Rush Hour. And then the final one we're going to cover in this episode, Monster Inokabutan Defeat the Rider with Crazy Gas.
I don't want to know what that is.
Oh, man. Okay, well, seems like we might have fun here.
I hope so. Don't let us down, Kamen Rider.
So if you have not joined us for a commentary before, I count down from 3. I go 3, 2, 1, go. When I say go, that's when you hit play, select whatever it is to start the show on whichever device you're watching this on. Yep. So are you ready, Jason?
Yes, I am.
All right. So here we go. Episode 81. 3, 2, 1, go.
And I got to make sure I turn down the volume on this on my end. And Kamen Rider doing his leisurely driving.
I don't know. Is mine too loud?
Let me mute mine here for a second. Maybe turn it down, maybe 2 or 3 bars.
It's already down on 2.
Oh,
That's at 1 now.
Oh, okay.
So I recorded 2 new unboxing videos. I recorded them last Monday, and I've been meaning to get them up on our YouTube page, but just never did this week. So I forgot to cover well, that too. But yeah, I forgot to show those here a moment ago. I had gotten 4 figurines.
Well, just save it for your video.
This one, even though it's called Kamen Rider Dies Twice, this one says Kamen Rider Dies Again.
Well, mine says dies twice.
Up with this doesn't. This I think was maybe like the previous episode, wasn't it? Because that villain looks familiar.
Well, I know he was in the previous one. I think it's been a while. It's been like a year since the last podcast episode we recorded.
Like 3 weeks. I mean, it's nearly been a month. What's your over under?
I'll go infinity for all.
I'll go infinity for write off. Under 2 billion for kick. And under infinity for explosion. It's so stupid how we do this over under thing. We sound like 5-year-olds.
Yeah.
A billion. That's right. I forgot. Kamen Rider died last time.
Quote unquote died.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll know for sure. Chubster Schuster.
I created those names, and you're the one that's actually carrying on the legacy. This one.
Yeah, we lost a bet. We lost our houses.
Oh. This one.
You don't need to force it out there, kids.
What's the breakfast diet?
That was just so random.
You know what they're doing right now?
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
That's what they're doing right now.
Was that an app or something?
Yeah. That's it. It just says condolences. My dog died. Condolences. My grandmother died in a horrible car accident that threw her head 50 yards away from the car. Condolences. This one. I hear ticky sounds, and then they're just like, hey, let's listen closely. It's like a Three Stooges moment.
Yeah. Oh, no, they get talky too?
No, he...
Kind of the cartoonish
It is.
black suit.
That's what the bomb should have sounded like.
Breakfast. Oh, yeah, it's the gel shocker.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't been at this for so long, we kind of forgot all of this. This one. Yeah, didn't they kill or exile Ambassador Hell?
Something like that. Although he kind of double crossed Kamen Rider and the other guys too. And then transformed into, I forget what. I think it was that bat thing, now that I remember.
Oh.
That they show at the beginning.
This one.
Just gonna gas them.
Yeah, like they're gonna get killed somehow. This guy.
One of the shocker peeps.
He just magically has, whatever tool is needed in this situation.
Yeah.
I bet if he had an ingrown toenail, he'd have the appropriate nail clippers on him. I bet there's a bomb on that.
Or just drive him off a cliff.
This one.
Yep, they're going to destroy the bridge. That guy seems a bit familiar.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing.
I'm assuming he probably was in a Ultraman episode.
Could be, yeah.
Boy, he doesn't look one suspicious.
That guy that's talking, the one right before General Black, he looked familiar too.
What the heck?
So General Black is a scorpion lizard? Or this scorpion lizard looked like General Black?
Body's filled with gas.
Aren't we all? Yeah, see, I told you the guy's going to magically have, although it takes oxygen now. So I guess his mask, technically that should not work for him because he's taking oxygen out. He would need an oxygen tank to help him breathe.
Uh-huh.
This one.
Or it could be like a built-in oxygen type of filter.
But yeah, even then it's like he just has the magical tool on hand.
Yeah. Because reasons.
Yeah, it's just again, I understand it's a young kid show, so things like this happen, but it's just there are adults out there that will sing praises something. Look, this stuff is entertaining, but it's entertaining in such an infantile, ridiculous way. This one. I thought that guy made himself flip over the bridge.
Well, he sort of did. But
I thought he would just flip over and that was it. Like just go down into the river below. This one. He found time to go to the store and get some flowers.
And just wander off in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, this is Mo. Okay. I thought it was the guy we just saw. A show I haven't seen in like almost 9 years now, but I've been kind of wanting to watch again is Ultra Q.
Well, you can do that in your own time.
I know. I'm just trying to make conversation here.
Don't you have, was it Neo Ultra Q?
Yeah, I did watch that. I think I even talked about it here on the podcast. I watched that. When was it? Like maybe 3 years ago. Yeah, because I know it was like one of my segments I did on an episode.
Mm-hmm.
It was okay. There were a couple episodes that I really liked. Most of them I was like meh on. I think it's like a 12 episode series.
One of the Ultraman series shows I've been wanting to get around to, and I think I should have it upstairs with my other collection. Which, by the way, I need to get around to getting the newer Mill Creek Ultraman DVDs here.
They're releasing another one in like a week or two.
But I want to try to get around to watching Ultra 7X.
Oh, yeah. I mean, part of me's curious about that too. But after watching the original one, gosh, it seems like last year, but it was 2 years ago now. We're just kind of like, But just how that looks from, the cover art, maybe some of the shots that I've seen it seems more adult oriented. So hopefully it should be better. In 2021, I started Ultraman with it was either Leo or Taro. It might have been Taro. I got the first disc watched and have yet to return to it. And then in August of 23, I watched through the first disc of Ultraman 80 and have yet to return to that. So I've watched at least started two different Ultraman shows, but I've not even passed the first disc.
Yeah, I know I've watched Ultraman 80 all the way through when it was on Crunchyroll, and the same thing for Ultraman Leo. And then I think maybe one other one, but I think it might be just those two. Those were pretty.
The little I've seen was pretty good. And then I think, like I said, I think the other one was Taro. I enjoyed it. I just, for whatever reason, have not gone back to them.
Mm-hmm.
The Ultraman that was either Taro or Leo, the Ultraman in that one was the guy who also played a professor a couple times in the Heisei Godzilla series. I think he was like in Godzilla versus Mothra. He might have been the professor that wore the glasses. He was in a Jeep at one point as the volcano's exploding when Godzilla's coming out. And he goes, "Oh no," when he sees a mother and a child just unconscious alongside the road.
Yeah. But yeah, in Ultraman Leo, I think Dame Oriboshi appears in that a few or so times. Mm. If I remember correctly.
Yeah, I don't know. I get lazy or something.
Yeah, because it's been a long time since I last seen both 80 and Leo.
It's been a long time for me since I've seen 80, and that's been about a year and a half ago since I started it. I feel awful because normally I don't take breaks like that long. Like we're talking, it'll be going on 4 years like this June since I touched Taro.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. He's Canadian.
A Canadian Scorpio lizard.
You know what I would like to watch, and it probably would be stupid and at the same time dull as everything, but it probably would be slightly amusing, would be to just have an episode where Kamen Rider fights the Shocker Cyborg of the Week in a boxing match. Just like Batman did to the Riddler in the 66 series.
Or like Muay Thai.
Or they get into a drinking contest, and whichever one passes out first loses.
You're like one of those, like the tabletop with the ping pong balls.
You could do it that way, or you just keep shot after shot. You have someone who's a judge be like, okay, take your first shot. Okay, now take number 2. And you just keep, making sure the judge just has to make sure they're on the same level number of shots, and whatever happens, happens.
Or maybe a good old game of cornhole.
Not in the way you would think.
Yeah, how are you going to do that one specific area when the entire planet's full of oxygen?
They can.
I want my Hello Kitty figurine back.
Well, the thing is, he's got to be a shocker cyborg. He already is, but I forget exactly what happened where he was just not following their orders. Because again, how long ago did we start this series? A year and a half, 2 ago. Like
Cardboard.
Oh, it was supposed to be capes. Yeah, right. He should have been bouncing the 50 cents into club as he came up like that, because he just kind of bounced up.
He be rolling.
They see me rolling, they hating. That's come up like 2 or 3 times now.
Just
I don't know. You're pretty stupid. Their belts are different now.
oh yeah, they don't have the championship belt. It's more or less like the television champion belt.
Yeah. In other words, you might as well not be a champion at all, because that's such a pathetic thing to hold.
Yeah, I think speaking of which, I think the last person on the WCW side that had it was Hacksaw Jim Duggan. And I think he still had it too.
I don't think that was a title that even got transferred over to WWE when they acquired WCW.
No, I think it was long before that WCW was acquired.
Because that was, even when we first started watching WCW after years of not watching wrestling, you and I were, even then, we're like, that's one of the dumbest things ever. Like, you might as well not even hold a championship. You might as well just be a wrestler that just shows up. And
yeah, but just thinking about it, I think that was the first title that Booker T ever won. And now look where he went all the way up and won the heavyweight championship. Like, I'm not sure how many times.
Well, he became WCW heavyweight champion on the very last Monday Nitro. Yeah. The Nitro that they got acquired by WWE, but it didn't matter.
But he did manage to go over to WWE after all that stuff, and he's won the
he won a
belt stuff. There. Yeah.
It's like painted styrofoam. They have to get rid of that. That's ridiculous looking.
I don't know what kids would think back then when they saw that. I was like, that looks a bit ridiculous.
That was almost like a haymaker.
He lost his balance.
That'd be funny if the cameraman actually fell down there, like over. Let's go! And you hear like the blood curdling scream as he's falling. Who didn't see that coming?
Just like what they're doing right now, just tumbling down.
Well, he literally like stuck his foot right to the edge there. It's like, I am like within a split second of seeing that, I'm like, Kamen Rider's going to grab his foot and pull him down. Thank you. Here's a ham sandwich.
How much you want to bet that old chakra professor is going to die?
Eventually. So it's a rider reversal kick. So in a way, it half counts. So we got the explosion. And that'd be funny if you just murdered them right there.
We have no use for you now.
Right off.
Yep.
I bet they got all the write-offs done in one day. They're just like, okay, now let's go to the next block and do it. Now let's go.
Make sure you get changed.
I don't think even that occurred.
What the hell is that?
Wolf thing?
Oh, the jelly wolf.
Yeah.
Scooby. What the heck?
Oh my God. You know what it looks like?
What an abomination.
You know what that thing really looks like?
I think I know what you're probably going to get at. Let's see here. Yeah, go figure. Go figure. I knew you were going to say it.
All right. So, thoughts?
I thought it was a bit decent, in a way. As far as that, the suit of the Scorpio lizard, it's a pretty interesting combination. It seems like now that they're like chakra upgraded, quote unquote upgraded to gel chakra, it seems like now that they're just going with just one specific animal for their cyborg generals and all that. Now it just seems like they're kind of combining them more with at least two or possibly more beasts and all that stuff. Kind of gives some creativity, and that's kind of, I would say, good in a way, but then it kind of creates some unique and kind of weird out there sort of suits like this,
like the one we're about to see.
Yeah, with this jelly wolf thing. But yeah, as far as this episode, I think it's pretty decent. I think it's better than some of the ones that we've seen in the past couple podcast episodes. So with that, with the docking of points, I probably would go with the C on this one.
Yeah, like you're talking about the combination of, combining creatures and stuff. I would say, yeah, I agree with you. It's unique. It's not overly inventive, but I would argue it's too little too late because we're getting close to the end at this point.
It also kind of shows that they don't, it's like they're kind of rushing a lot of stuff. Like maybe they had some other like shocker generals and stuff, but then it's like, with maybe the amount of resources that they have, is like, let's just try to combine them as much as we could.
Yeah. Yeah. It's an average episode. The whole fact that they're in the beginning trying to cry, and I understand that that's just how they wrote it because they got to do something with the story. But even then, how many people honestly believed, or should I say kids even believed, that Kamen Rider had actually died? Yeah. So it's fine. My only concern is that typically when we do these, it seems like our enjoyment tends to slide with each successive episode that we watch. Hopefully that's not the case here.
Sometimes there have been some episodes where they kind of went upwards.
That's the exception, but not the rule, though. Yeah. So we'll see about wolf jellyfish or whatever. All right. So you ready?
Give me one moment here. All right. I am ready.
All right. So here we go. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right. Let me quickly grab a drink here.
You're going to leave as this thing's starting?
Yeah, it's just the opening is like nothing going
better
on
hurry.
Right now.
You better hurry. Well, Jason's going to get the drink here, and we got the opening credits going on here. I'm just kind of curious, those of you out there who have listened to us for a bit do this retrospective, how many of you out there are huge Kamen Rider fans? Like, have any of you gone through Kamen Rider before and really enjoyed it? Or is this also your first time going through the series and you're enjoying it? I'm not saying I dislike it. I think it's fine. But I know it's incredibly goofy. And
I know August Vergona, he's a big Kamen Rider fan from what I've seen on his posts and everything.
Yeah, I think I kind of got that same impression too. And I mean, that's fine. Like I said, I think it's fine. I think because like I've even talked about it here with some Godzilla movies, such as Godzilla versus the Sea Monster and Godzilla versus Megalon. As I've gotten older, I can be a little bit more objective and agree with some of the shortcomings of those films. But at the same time, just because of the nostalgia and sentimental value those films have, they still hold like a strong, impression on me. And so those kinds of films will always be a little bit more special for me than maybe for others. I bet if I maybe had watched this series as a kid, I probably would feel differently about it.
And I'm guessing that could be this, what could be said for August Vergona. I'm guessing he probably seen these when he was much younger. So there's some kind of sentimental value with this for him.
I'm betting, yeah. Here we are speaking for him and he's not even here. August come back onto the show and then he'd probably be like, you guys have yet to invite me again. That's true. Touche.
Yeah. But I think the last time we had him, I think is maybe more than over a decade or a little over a decade or so.
It was 2016.
Yeah. Seems like it's been forever, but also at the same time, it kind of felt like it was a little bit like yesterday.
Well, we haven't gotten 01 Publishing back either.
Yeah. Boy, look at the veins on that boy.
Someone really took their time with this one. It's like, on the one hand, I can admire the craftsmanship, and on the other hand, it's like, is that time, well spent?
Yeah. Just the way that this General Black looks, he kind of looks deathly ill with the kind of the black stuff on it around his eyes.
Yeah,
and how light his skin looks.
it just. I mean, again, I have to keep stopping and reminding myself it's a kid show. But, if you're going to put me through 98 episodes of this, I think I deserve to be, a little hard on it at times.
Yeah. But I think after this, we need to rethink as far as how to do TV shows and stuff, because I don't want to keep doing episode by episode.
I think we can and probably should if it's like a more reasonable series of X amount of episodes. Well, like a 26 episode series, I think, for example, is reasonable.
Yeah, I don't know.
Jace is getting lazy here. I don't know about that. It might just mean you're eating a lot of salt in your salt and sugar.
I think those are like sweet buns or something that she's eating. But I do see it seems like they have some kind of frappuccino or something on the desk too.
I mean, who knows? It's probably river water too.
Every time I think of river water, I think of the was it Back to the Future 3 when he's at.
I do too sometimes.
Was it the 1800s and stuff? You see that scene where they pour the water for dinner. It's just all brown.
Well, and then like Doc, makes this big machine that makes ice cubes, and the ice cube comes out brown. Yeah. I haven't seen any of those movies in a number of years, but it's like
yeah, whenever LA kind of gets its crap in gear here, it's like I would like to go there and go see some of the like the actual spots that were filmed.
Well, and
I got those places flagged on my Google Maps.
Don't forget too, they're getting ready for the 28 Olympics too.
Oh yeah, I didn't say a specific like year or anything.
Well, yeah, but they're going to be closing off certain sections to get prepared for that too.
But in 28, that's when we plan on going to Tokyo, because I know we've talked about that.
We'll go over there and we'll conquer that country.
Speaking of which,
base belong to us.
Speaking of which, I've already got like kind of a decent itinerary of what I want to do for the few weeks when I'm there next year.
It is something awful. Like if that boy tripped and he smacked his head so hard on the pavement, like there's a blood splatter, and he's got this huge gash on his forehead. And like the guys chasing him are like, and they slowly back away.
We did not mean to do that.
Did it come up on your end?
What did it say? Shit?
No, the boy on my end called them assholes.
Oh, I don't think they wrote that on there from what I saw.
It's a boy. The boy stopped, wiped his brow, and said "assholes" on it.
Yeah, you're kind of wide out in the open.
Wow.
Like you're kind of wide out in the open, just to be exposed.
The styrofoam again. No, that's curtains. No, it's styrofoam.
Gosh, this.
Okay.
How long has he been waiting in there?
He's a jellyfish. I'm sure he probably has the capability to like survive underwater for a while.
But not when he's a wolf, too.
His right hand, dude. Okay.
It's like that one other shocker general from.
But this is different. Okay. I can't hold it in any longer. Here's the thing.
Got an Alex Neal coming.
This is going to get a little R-rated here. So I'm just kind of fair warning you. If this is something you don't want to hear.
What else is new?
Fast forward like.
Yeah, look at your hair.
Fast forward like 10 seconds.
What the heck? Sparks?
This jellyfish wolf is in some ways improperly designed because it looks like it got gum all over it. And I'm sorry. This is just, like whoever came up with this needed to like, I think, design it differently because it's jizz, man. Like it's jizz all over this wolf, and it's not a jellyfish. It's like a jizz wolf. Like I am so sorry, but this is just so inappropriate. Like, why did you do this? Look at it. I mean, it's like the guy from Jack and the Beanstalk's like roar. And like, why did you do it this way?
Well, after their little stint with like all the Nazi paraphernalia that they did earlier in the show with swastika stuff and all that on boxes and everything, it's like everything is kind of out the window at that point.
I mean, you might then call it what it is.
And then you got in the sequel for Kamen Rider V3, you got a literal Nazi starfish.
But this is like he's got a cum hand too, and it somehow like shoots electricity. Why would you do this?
And plus it looks quite veiny too.
Oh,
see, look, red and
I know. It's wrong. It is wrong on so many levels. It's like, think of either a different creature for this or redesign this, because this just looks awful in the nastiest way. I mean,
I would not be shocked if any of the crew members behind the scene that sort of actually knew what it kind of looked like.
It makes me wonder if it's an inside joke. It's like
something like that. Yeah. Yeah. I would not be shocked at all. Because if
thank you.
Because if anyone did not have any idea of what it might be, that I would literally be surprised if that was the case. Was that pipe cleaner?
Yep.
Wow, Luigi.
In some ways, this could end up becoming my favorite Kamen Rider for all the wrong reasons. Do they make? Oh, you know what? I gotta see if there's a figure of this.
I don't think they would have that. Maybe a couple handful of them, but I don't think all of them.
There's a jellyfish wolf haircut. Oh, I gotta see what this is all about.
Jellyfish hair.
Oh, this is ugly. Here, I'm gonna send you the link to this. This is an ugly hairstyle.
Oh, excuse me.
There were figures.
Are you seeing them via Club Tokyo though?
I'm seeing, what is this one on? What is it? Let me visit the site here. What is the site? eBay. Oh, the listing ended.
Did it just end?
It ended in February.
Oh. Let me see a link.
Here, let me. Amazon Japan.
Oh, yeah, they did. I'm fairly surprised that they did.
Amazon Japan has it. What does 55,000 yen translate to?
Let's see here. I'm guessing $500.
Oh, dear
Somewhere
Lord.
around that.
Nope.
Let me just double check. $370.
Nope. I want to figure this, but it doesn't look like they made any different figures of it.
There's a Medicon Toy Toei, and I see another one here too. Yeah, there's at least a few of them. When you scroll down, yeah, there's one here that's buy it now.
I guess you'll have to send me the link because I guess I'm not seeing them.
Yeah, you just have to scroll down where it says
the eBay.
Explore. Yeah, that eBay link and just say explore related items. Yeah, it'll just be in this explore related items section. It's just right there.
Okay.
Do.
I'll just send you a link here.
Okay, there's $150 still though. That's still too expensive.
There's that, and then there's one that's 130.
That's still too expensive. I'm sorry.
Well, I assume that these are some of the original ones, though.
Well, yeah, I'm sure of that, but I still don't think it's worth it.
It was like with the Sophobee stuff; those can be a bit expensive, though. That's
I get that, yeah,
because they're quite the collector's item, even if you take them out of the bag.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to pass. Oh, that makes me sad.
I may have to grab it.
Dude, if you do, I might try to steal it from you the next time I come and visit you.
Or maybe I can just buy another one and I'll just wait to give it to you when you come.
Yeah, Because like if I steal yours and then we leave and you look on your shelf, you'll be like, "Hey, where's my jizz wolf?"
Damn it, give me my jizz wolf.
This is one of the greatest designs ever for all the wrong reasons. To be truly honest, at this point, I have no idea what's going on in the story, but I don't think it really matters. This thing.
Excuse me.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds like he's saying, "What are they?"
What are they?
Boy, you kind of got pretty close to the front of that car there when you try to intercept them.
Hongo, do you remember what happened that kicked you out of the show for like half
Or
its run?
hospitalized you?
This is so funny. He's driving the car. Oh, I guess he's not driving. He's
I was gonna
say. I forget it's Japan. The wheel's on the other side.
Yeah.
This is hilarious, man. What the? Oh,
Feel the extent of my power.
it said have a taste of my power.
Mine just said feel the extent of my power.
Either one is not good.
I think mine was probably a bit worse.
Mine could be interpreted a certain way. You throw them in the water, like that's not going to do anything. Some rando. I'd be like, go ahead. I don't know that guy.
Like, what? Drilling chute.
It's a tailspin chute on my end.
An explosion.
That was kind of a weak one, honestly.
Yeah. Compared to the previous episode where you saw a ball of fire.
Yeah, like half a block blew up with that one. This one, it was like an anthill.
Or a failed firework display.
And then you pick it up and then the rest of it blows up.
Oh. Oh, right off. Yeah, we completely forgot to do the bet. But oh well.
Let's see what
Boy, that's it already.
Oh, wow.
What the heck?
That looks like was it like a rhinoceros beetle?
It's kind of like one of those prehistoric kind of rhinoceros type of
was it mega? No, not megatherium. Something therium.
Something like that. Okay, so your thoughts.
How do I put this? I love it simply because it's a jizz wolf. This is the most unique design probably until I end up watching V3 and get to Starfish Hitler. This one, though, I just love because it's so ridiculously stupid and immature.
Well, for the wrong reasons.
Yes. And the episode, in terms of like its action and all that, is kind of at the same time the usual stuff, but it's kind of funny because he's riding a car at one point, Ryder's on top, but it's more or less the same sort of thing you would get watching any other Kamen Rider, but it's Jizz Wolf. Like, I
get that out of your mind, huh?
It's the design needed to either be totally rethought and combined with a different creature, or really redone, because it's got jizz all over its head and its left side, and it's got a cum hand. I mean, it does. And I'm sorry, that's what that thing was. And I love it because I am a 8-year-old. So I do. The rest of the episode was fine and average, but because of that design, A+. I mean, it's one of the greatest things I've ever seen in a tokusatsu.
And until we get to a certain point.
I got it. I got the show, but I don't know if you ever want to like buy it and plan on go through it.
Well, I just need to find time to get around to getting it, but yeah. Yeah, it's just kind of something that you don't really expect on CNN. And like I said during our viewing of this, like, I would not be shocked, pun intended, that there had to be some kind of inside joke and that someone's probably knew of what's going on with it. But I would be surprised that no one didn't think of it as a thing. Like, someone out there when this episode came out had to actually know something was up. But yeah, with a lot of the episodes that we've seen in the past, and it's kind of the roller coaster with the ratings and stuff. Yeah, this one's going to have to go up there, no matter how many points that we dock from the explosions and the rat off and everything. I'm going to give this one. You know what? Screw it. I'll give it an A-.
Oh, come on. That's too low. That's too low. Come on. It's not high enough.
Yeah.
All right. You ready to start the final episode of this podcast?
Just give me one moment here.
I'm actually kind of wishing that Jizz Wolf showed up as like the last episode we covered here.
Yeah, like the big shocker boss is actually the Jizz Wolf.
Dude, he should be. If he's not, he should be.
All right, I'm ready on my end.
All right, so here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh man, this is fantastic.
I'm not sure if this episode is going to top it.
This one's going to like actually bring some more sensibilities back, but you know,
yeah,
that's about it.
Like for the rest of the way, it's probably not going to be as exciting until we get to.
You know what?
Hitler.
I don't want them to top what we just last saw. I really don't. Like that was perfection.
Well, like I said, probably not going to see anything until Starfish Hitler.
Seriously, dude. Like I think just because of that, plus it's a shorter series. It's like what, a third as long as this one.
Mm-hmm.
We seriously need to contemplate making that like our next series.
Well, I would like to at least try to do some movies and stuff because it feels like it's been.
Oh yeah, I want to do that too. Yeah. Well, see, here's the thing. Like, we still have the Jurassic World and Park commentaries left to finish. I think we got 2 more commentaries left there. We have yet to do discussions for any of those films. There's commentary for New Empire. Otherwise, all the MonsterVerse has been taken care of on that front.
I know we said to ourselves that after we get done with this, we want to do the Shin Kamen Rider.
Oh, that's right. Heads up, I listened to like a podcast, a different Kaiju podcast. It was kind of a short episode that they did because they went and saw it in a special, I don't know, I can't remember if they said Fathom or what, but
Fathom
it could have been. They hated it. Like these were 2 guys that loved Shin Godzilla and were okay on Shin Ultraman. They hated Shin Rider. So, I
wouldn't be a bit surprised about it, especially with like was it the first few so minutes that we watched? It was pretty gory.
Well,
with all that blood splatter.
You know how when we covered Shin Ultraman, we both said it felt like it was an episodic film where it felt like multiple Ultraman shows that were just spliced together to make a movie. Shin Rider, according to them, is episodic.
Yeah.
So, yeah, because I remember saying, like, on the one hand, it was kind of unique, but at the same time, it was a little annoying that they did that because it just, it didn't seem like there was as much of a through line with some of the stories because what happened in one part didn't necessarily affect the final story point in many respects. So, I mean, we'll give it a whirl when we get there, but
yes,
I think too, we need to cover, and I think I've mentioned this in the past, think about covering such films as like the 2 Meg movies, things of that sort too. And I know we brought up that one channel of, was it Chinese?
Oh yeah, that Chinese channel.
Yeah, with
Chinese
different creature features on it.
Yeah.
And maybe even do like some asylum films.
Oh yeah. I already know where those are gonna go.
Seriously though, like I have that 8 versus Monster one, for example. That was their version of Godzilla versus Kong. It's like, I think it makes sense to cover some of those.
I knew about that. Well, and they had like their version of Pacific Rim
and Atlantic Rim, I think it was called.
Yeah.
And then they did their own version of Transformers. They did like 2 of them or something like that. I forget what they called them.
Yeah, I did see the first 5 or so minutes of the first one. I was like, I just had to turn it off.
They're hilariously bad.
They were called Transmorphers.
Transmorphers, yes. I remember when Michelle took the kids on a Wisconsin road trip. I think it was like 2, maybe 3 years ago. And they watch, movies in the car, and Lincoln packed 8 versus Monsters, one of the movies. And when they got back, Lincoln said, I will never watch Ape versus Monster again. I put that thing in, and after 10, 15 minutes, I couldn't watch anymore. That thing is bad. Like he couldn't finish it. I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's not great, but in some ways it's entertainment in a bad way.
Well, it's called, I think they're just like a mockumentary type of thing.
I do think, yeah, those things are not only made to like cash in on like whatever the hot thing is at that moment, but I think it is made to be sort of a satire as well. Like it has to be.
Well, it's just like
has to be.
It's just like the Craw and the Zarkor ones that we saw.
Boy.
Speaking of which, it just feels like yesterday that we saw those movies.
When did we watch those?
I think it was just before we started both Spectre Man, or I think I was maybe in the middle of Spectre Man and Kamen Rider.
Because I think it was last year we did those two movies.
Let me see.
Maybe
here.
last spring.
Let me see here.
By the way, we have no idea what the heck's going on in this episode.
Yeah. I don't know why it kicked me out. Let's see here. Give me one moment. Yeah, episodes 194 and 195.
What does it say?
And it was before G-Fest 29.
Yeah, I knew it was before G-Fest.
9 months ago.
Okay. June?
9 and 8 months ago. Yeah, June 22nd for Craw, which was episode 185. And then June 8th for Zarkor.
Those movies. There was a movie I thought of last week. I'm like, you know what I haven't watched in a while that I thought was entertaining in a hilarious way? 2001 Yongari. Okay. Okay.
I hope one of these days that they can manage to find like the actual 99 Yongari.
It would be, but you know what? Considering,
I don't know how they managed to lose that version.
They must not have like the archival process over there like Hollywood has over here.
I mean, you think they would, especially when they've been kind of doing a lot of like shows and movies.
Yongari is South Korean, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I got a note on my end that says that part of the name of this shocker thing comes from like boar and then head. So like wild boar's head is kind of like part of where the name of this shocker guy comes from.
It's kind of a bit odd.
I think like the horn part reminds me of like a rhinoceros beetle and the face is like a bat. That's what it looks like to me.
Well, the face and stuff kind of reminds me of, like I said, kind of one of those prehistoric type of animals. Where I know they had a kind of a huge horn that looked a bit similar to that.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. I forget the name of it. I used to be an expert on all that.
Yeah, what the hell happened?
I haven't been reading nor messing around with any of that stuff for quite a long time. I've been too busy watching a show with jizz wolves in it.
Bashima.
He finally cracked.
Yeah. Kind of looks like a rundown hospital.
Well, it's probably a rundown building that they're used to film this, but yeah, it's doubling as a hospital for this particular episode.
I want to see if that's like an actual place. I want to just check in here.
It'd be funny if it was, and then you read like it was put out of business, like in 1995 or something like that.
Yeah.
They were found like electric shocking their patients or something like that. I find it so funny. These gel shocker minions are wearing helmets. Yeah.
I'm not seeing anything with that name.
Maybe they no longer exist.
I guess not.
Ever existed.
Well, I did see one that was in Japanese. I can probably put it through translator here.
It's so funny.
But I don't think but I don't think it translates to that the way it looks. Let's see. Switch those. It just translates to furthermore dental clinic.
I think some of those translation things, though, aren't the greatest.
Well, yeah, mainly Google's thing. That was a bit of a delay.
He wasn't even actually moving his lips there.
I was just kind of thinking of that myself, too. Oh, I'm coming running for you.
Just need to prevent him from using his nose. You afraid he's going to wipe his snot on your sleeve?
Yes.
You just had the suit dry cleaned.
Insanity gas.
That's right. This one had like deadly gas or whatever in its title.
They call it Orpion.
Horn gore. Oh, come on. That's so ridiculous. The thing didn't even go in.
But yeah,
It seems like
it seems like it's got red on its horn indicating that it's blood, but I don't know how a cyborg would bleed red like a regular human.
Well, cyborg indicates that, it's part organic organism and then part machine. So it's not completely machine. How did he get that thing wrapped up already?
Reasons.
This is so ridiculous.
You're being a little too over dramatic.
Hey, man.
Like maybe you should have done that sooner.
Oh my gosh, this is so dumb. So they're going to give him some coconut juice and cherry juice?
I was going to say ketchup and lemonade.
That's got to be a drink.
Yeah. Because it's what it looks like. Just a thing of ketchup and lemonade. Or limeade.
Yes.
Or maybe some other kind of substance.
You know what Hongo actually calls it? Breakfast. That's what he calls it.
Jeez.
Again, we brought this up before, but whatever happened to his motorcycle racing, like that was even like a reasonable side thing that was periodically just brought up, and they haven't even bothered to mention it in quite a while.
Well, it seemed like that they were sort of going back to that several episodes ago, but then they just kind of threw it to the wayside again.
They're just like, let's go back to that. You know what? No.
Let's go back to the good old days. Oh, we're going to change things up. Oh, okay.
Nah, we're not going to do that. Can you imagine if they didn't tell people at this children's park that they were going to do this, and these people are actually freaking out?
Yeah.
They're just like, they'll be fine. We'll tell them afterwards.
Yeah.
You imagine how terrified some of those kids would be?
Yeah. But of course, that didn't really happen, but
I don't know, dude. A couple of those kids definitely looked terrified, and it didn't look like acting.
Well, maybe they didn't tell them how they looked or anything.
Told the parents, and then told the parents not to tell the kids.
Maybe.
Where's Takeshi? No, Taki. Where's Taki? I haven't seen him in a while.
Well, you remember he got, he had to throw out that one condolence thing, and he had all that black soot after the explosion of that in the first episode.
Oh, I didn't know. Like, I thought he was done with his healing after that.
Maybe he just had to take a vacation from that.
Yeah.
From that experience.
His job is hazardous. That's the wrong leg. He just was grabbing the wrong leg.
I didn't catch it.
He was grabbing his right instead of his left. Yeah, that happens. When you slice someone, they get the ability to jump over.
Yeah.
Oh, we can run on it pretty fine. Oh, for the love of Pete. This is so dumb. Like, we'll run 10 yards, no problem.
And then jumps and lands on it perfectly fine, but
Right. That sword looks like a sword you would see from the Power Rangers.
well, I think it is made by the same company.
Yeah, Toei did the Super Sentai.
So I wouldn't be a bit surprised if they got one of the sword props from Super Sentai.
It's raining here again. I'm so sick of the rain.
Oh, you can have it.
I know I don't want it. Apparently, according to local weather, it's supposed to end up changing to snow here like in a bit.
I just glad it's nice and sunny with blue skies for once.
You know what? You can shut up. That leg looks perfectly fine to me. I mean, you know.
Yeah, sometimes they forget.
Either that or they simply don't care, which I think that is a decent part.
What the heck?
Oh my gosh, that's cheap. He technically would have gotten hit.
Where did that motorcycle come from?
It happened, I think, in the last episode too, where it just magically showed up.
It explodes.
This is so stupid. And he's he's jogging, like there's a hair evidence of a limp, but by and large, he's fine.
And then, of course, rides off.
If the episode doesn't care, then neither do I. What are we looking forward to here?
Something with an eye.
See Ani Jaguar? What the? It's like a seahorse, I think.
Like a sea urchin, something. And then with something with Hollywood.
I hope that's actually some behind the scenes stuff. I'm hoping that's what that is.
That would be pretty funny if that were the case. Like they accidentally put it in there. It's like, why did you not catch that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an episode. Yeah, that Boar Beaton, or however they call it over here. Yeah, it's a pretty interesting design, but nothing compared to the last cyborg general.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Call it what it is.
I'll let you say it, but yeah, it's an episode, although it's a bit of a downgrade, I would say, sort of. Although it's a bit crazy. Yeah, there's not much else to add to it. So with that, I'll probably would give this one. I'll give episode 83 I'll give it a B-.
Oh, wow. Well, yeah, I mean, nothing can top Jizz Wolf. I mean, this episode definitely, is a downgrade. But if I'm trying to be more objective about it, the villain is interesting. But what makes this one just so stupid is the fact that the leg gets injured, but yet when we see the impaling, you clearly see like the little foam horn bend back. There's that. And then on top of that, there's the overacting about that. Even though I understand, yes, if it were to actually get impaled, it would hurt. But the fact that they focus so much time on that.
But nothing like what Hongo was performing.
The fact that
got injured there is like, it was sort of way too over the top.
Yeah, and they just focused on it too long as well. But then the actor playing Hongo messed up in one moment when he was fighting those minions on the bridge where he grabbed his right leg instead of his left. But then over the course of that final fight, it went from being like, oh, I'm injured on my leg to like, no, it's perfectly fine. And it's entertaining in a very stupid way because you're catching all these mistakes by the actor when it comes to his injured leg. So it's not as wonderfully entertaining as the last episode, but it's entertaining because it just the act. I'm sorry, but the actor can't effectively do his job really well of trying to play a hero while maintaining like an injured appendage. I mean, he's not. I'm sorry, because the evidence was clear as day as you watch this. So I think I'm giving it a C+. I think it's entertaining because it's.
Tell me I had a low grade.
No, I thought yours was too high.
Well, you said mine was a bit too low.
Well, I said that about the last episode.
Yeah, whatever.
The last episode should clearly A+. I mean, you are wrong giving it an A-. But yeah, I mean, it's entertaining just because it's so stupid. Especially there towards the end, and I think it's worth watching just because you can get a chuckle out of it. So, but with that, thank you so much for joining us. We hope you had a lot of fun as much as we did. Definitely one of our more entertaining pieces.
Oh yeah.
So hopefully we'll be back in a couple of weeks with more Kamen Rider, and we'll see what fun stuff Toei can conjure up.
All right. We'll see you guys in the next video.